Hello, welcome back to Let's Talk NBA with Rick and Jack. Jack's still out in New York. How are you?
I am wonderful, sir.
Everything okay
Excited
in New
to talk
York?
about some basketball.
Oh, what do you want to talk about? We got a little extra basketball to talk about, not just what's going on between Phoenix and Milwaukee, and that has all of a sudden become an interesting series, but what's happening with our Olympic basketball team, and it's halfway through the season in the WNBA. So what do you want to start with first? You got three options there.
All right, let's talk about the Olympics. Let's
You,
talk about the downer right now, so that we
he
can
wants
end
to
the
talk
show.
Olympic basketball. By the way, thank you all for watching, and thank you for liking us and sharing it. Our numbers continue to grow every week. We appreciate your viewership. We've only got two more shows left, this one and next week, and then we'll get into NFL. But I got to tell you all, this has been fun doing NBA all year, and we want to thank you for being part of our audience. But Jack wants to talk first about the Olympic basketball team. Do you want to talk about the win last night, or the two previous losses, or the future of the men's USA Olympic basketball team in the upcoming tournament in Japan? What would you like to talk about there, my friend? He's
Let's
anxious.
talk about the two losses.
Okay, we're going to talk about the two losses.
Yeah.
Go. You're up. New York, you're up.
All right. So my take on those two losses, it's a matter of somebody taking over, because you have so many all-stars playing and no one was taking over the game, and they weren't being held accountable or even having self accountability. During those games, they were not efficient with their shots. There was only a few players that were over 50%, and that was part of their problem. So, in a sense, and then I think also it's like we have all these NBA players on our roster. They didn't necessarily respect the other rosters to take them seriously and go out there and play their butts off.
There's a lot of there's a lot of NBA pros on the other rosters. I looked at Australia. They had Joe Ingles and what his name from San Antonio, Patty Mills.
The U.S. team is made up all pros, So whereas the NBA is supposed to be the creme de la creme of basketball players in the world
By far.
So having the creme, so anybody that's on the USA team, they basically they're supposed to be dominating the world, and what they're not realizing is quite a few of these teams have sprinkled here and there some NBA players themselves. I don't think they respect that, because they're all all-stars.
How good is the U.S. team really? I seen three players that doing anything: Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant. Who else is on the team? I watch highlights. I mean, I don't watch those games yet because they mean nothing, and I think that the NBA players believe they mean nothing, and I believe they'll go undefeated in Japan. But there's a couple of questions I want to ask you about that, since we wanted to start with that. Number one, do they have more players coming in? Are players eligible to come in from Phoenix and Milwaukee? And do they have other guys that haven't showed up yet? Is the team complete? What's really going on there? I know they're playing exhibitions here in Vegas. They've played 3 now, 1 and 2. But are you really that concerned about the team? I mean, it's exhibition basketball. Is the team complete? I mean, those are questions I don't know. Is the team complete? Are there more guys coming?
The team's not complete.
Who's coming in?
But it doesn't matter. You have Dame Leonard and you have Kevin Durant on the team. You tell me those guys can't bring the team on their back and make stuff happen?
What do you really care about a couple of exhibition games that the U.S. team loses when they're in Vegas staying up all night partying and just basically sobering up before the ball game? I mean, what a terrible place to play basketball, in my opinion, for a bunch of NBA pros that love the lights, love the city lights of Vegas. I mean, come on, are we really going to take this that seriously? I mean, they put it on TV and they're asking all the same questions you ask. And I'm like, come on, man, this is meaningless. This means nothing to me. Losing 2 exhibition games in Las Vegas. Oh my God, the U.S. team is horrible. They won't lose a game in Japan, Jack. I'm listening.
It's a matter of practice. It's considered a practice game, and hey, if you don't take practice seriously on when time actually counts, that's exactly how you're gonna play.
How did no practice time do for Giannis before he played his first game against Phoenix with no practice and hurting that knee? He was not affected because great pros are great pros. They pick it up quickly. You run a couple of laps, you get your win back. Let's go. I'm dominant. And that's what's going to happen. I mean, when do they play their first game? Is it the first? Is it within the first week? The U.S. men's basketball team will not lose a game. And you can say Australia and Spain and Portugal and Canada and all these other teams that got NBA guys on it. Good luck to them. Good luck to them when this starts, because you're going to have about 10 really good players. The one I can't understand is, who did Kevin Love to pay to be on the team? Kevin Love, are you kidding me? When was the last time he played an NBA game? I know he played about 3 this year, and before that it was about maybe 4. But what is Kevin Love's value to the U.S. All-Star team?
I
have nothing against Kevin
and
Love.
I really don't want to comment on it because the last person that commented on it end up being getting in trouble. So I won't say anything other than I literally watched him quit on his team in the middle of a game. So with that said, that's not somebody you want to have represent the United States of America.
Well,
that's my opinion. And that's my opinion. That's all I have on Kevin Love.
I agree with you. And the thing about it is, I respect him for all his mental health things and reaching out to kids on mental health. Hey, listen, maybe you ought to be doing that full time because you've collected a lot of money from the NBA. And in my opinion, the guy has never been a great player. He's been overrated. He's doing absolutely nothing. And I was like shocked. And again, I got nothing against the guy. I do sports reporting, and I report what I see. I have nothing personal against any athlete. Maybe Conor McGregor would be about the only one I just can't. I can't stand that loser, the way he talks about people. No respect. Anyways, let's get back to basketball. We'll talk about Conor McGregor another time. Hope not. Anyways, yeah, I can't understand why he's on the team. I mean, there's so many players that are more worthy that probably would like to be on the team. And, a lot of them have bowed out because of injuries and want to get healthy and all that. A lot of great players aren't playing. Let's be honest. They're not even interested. And that's kind of interesting because in past years, players were really interested, the top ones, of being on that team, right?
Yeah, especially we know that in the last 15 years or so, if your name was not Kobe, if it was not LeBron, if it was not Curry or, Durant, that means you're not going to be competing for an NBA championship. So guess what? The next best thing is to go get an Olympic championship because that's almost guaranteed.
These guys were upset.
Guys are like, no, I need my time off.
Yeah, I know that's how it is now. These guys were upset back in the day when they didn't get on the team. They wanted on that team. I mean, Steph Curry, I'm not playing. LeBron, I'm not playing. Embiid, I'm not playing. Simmons, I'm not playing. I'm like, wow, I would love to have a gold medal around my neck in my house after the Olympics were over.
Because I can't win an NBA championship, so might as well win an Olympic championship.
I think it completes an NBA resume, to be honest with you, to say I won 3 championships, I won 2 Olympic medals. I mean, guys, that was a great pride for them, and now they don't even care. And that's maybe in the end, they're not going to win it this year, and maybe I'm completely wrong that they still have more talent than anybody else, but maybe I'm wrong in that guys really don't even care anymore. But I'm glad to see Kevin Durant play because he had a grueling season. He had a lot of injuries. Bradley Beal put up with a lot of pressure during the season on a team that fought to come back. I'm glad Beal's playing. And it's good to see Damian Lillard, who shoulders a lot of pressure in Portland, on that team. You know why? They got the respect and the pride. It's called USA, and I'm really, really disappointed some of these top stars are not playing. I'm really surprised Steph Curry's not playing. His business. He wants to play golf. He wants to work on his golf game. God bless. Anyways, you make a good point. They shouldn't be losing any time, but I just think that I don't take it that seriously. It's early. It's not the Olympics. A lot of the prognosticators and sports analysts made a big deal about it. I'm not one of them. You're there with the rest of them, but I understand your feelings, and we validate it. Are you still there with us? Did we lose you, Jack?
Yes, I am.
We lost you there for a second. Did you hear what I said?
Did you?
We keep losing.
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay, so what's your?
At the end of the day, they're the creme de la creme of basketball players. And they shouldn't be losing any exhibition games. Simply put.
Okay, well put. Let's move on. NBA Finals. You still on Phoenix?
Absolutely. One game doesn't define a series. 4 games does.
4 wins it does.
4 wins.
Were you a little bit anxious with what happened in Game 3? Do you think that that's going to continue in Game 4 and that Milwaukee has figured out Phoenix and has the formula now?
No, it all comes down to you have 2 stars in Booker and Chris Paul that basically I don't know why they took the night off for whatever reason, but they weren't hitting shots.
Yeah, well,
and when you have a team where you have Giannis, Middleton, Holiday, 41, 18, and 21 points.
Yeah, well, those are 3 great
players. 3 of them? Come on, man.
Hey, those are 3 great players. The thing that people don't realize, Jack, is this series is tighter than people anticipated, because I talked to a lot of fans, basketball fans, and they all felt that Phoenix was going to sweep this series. Well, that immediately tells me they are not knowledgeable basketball fans, because I'll tell you this. Phoenix won Game 2. Milwaukee played a great game in Game 2. Milwaukee, the only reason that Phoenix beat them is they were hot out of their minds. They hit 23s. That's a record. That's an NBA championship game record. No, that's not a record that Golden State holds. It's a record that Phoenix holds now, 23s. And still, Milwaukee only lost by 10 points. And I saw that game and I said, you know what? When that game goes to Milwaukee, they're not going to hit 23s. Mikal Bridges is not going to make 27 points. He doesn't make 27 points in 3 games. That it's going to be a much different game, and Milwaukee's going to dominate. Several of my friends came to me and said, you're betting Phoenix, right? I said, what are you joking me? I said, do you really know basketball? Well, Phoenix is going to sweep. I said, you don't know basketball, because Milwaukee will win this game by more than the 4.5 points. Odds that they're giving up. They're giving up 4.5 points, so they got to win by 5 to win that bet. I told people they would win easily by 10 or more, which they won by 20. 120 to 100. My question is this. They were much more physical than Phoenix in Game 3, much more physical. The presence of Bobby Portis and the presence of P.J. Tucker with their physicality makes a big difference against a team that doesn't have a lot of physicality. Who are the physical players on Phoenix that can face up and play bully ball? Maybe Jay Crowder, who talks more than he does anything.
No, but the problem with Crowder is he's not smart with it. He doesn't get in your head mentally before he gets physical, and that's part of the problem. So if he could be a bully all he wants, they're just gonna call a foul on him. Whereas when you get a guy that instead of committing to an easy shot, he second guesses himself where you are as a defender is coming from. That's when you know you're in his head, and then he end up turning over the ball. Crowder is not doing that right now, and that's part of the problem. Another thing is you can't have Giannis get almost 17 rebounds or something crazy. It was a crazy amount of rebounds. So then guess what? For Giannis, especially on the offensive side, that's a bucket and a foul.
Yeah. Which
he had 17 of those, whereas Phoenix had 16 total for the team. So the ref were eating the whistle. What's going on here? Wasn't it fair basketball?
It was a funny game. I mean, the thing that stands out the most for me at this time, and I think this is going to turn into a very good series, and I'm hoping Milwaukee plays that well again. Phoenix, of course, has an answer. They made their adjustments. They watched the film. Phoenix is a very proud team they're very well coached. they will make their adjustments tonight. So the game will be much closer. Who in the end is going to impose their will? And what I mean by that is Milwaukee was up by 15 points in game 3. In the third quarter, Phoenix got within 4, and I said, uh-oh, is Phoenix going to impose their will on Milwaukee again? Are they going to take it? To the contrary, they came down, Holiday hit a 3. Phoenix misses, they come down, Holiday hits another 3. So all of a sudden, the lead is up to 11 points, and I'm saying to myself, interesting, Milwaukee answered them. Before you knew it was 20 points, and the game got out of hand. So Milwaukee had an answer. And guys like Drew Holiday are the answer. Guys like Middleton playing well are the answer. Guys like P.J. Tucker banging those boards and Bobby Portis banging those boards are the answer for Milwaukee. Giannis is going to get his. Giannis is going to get his.
But this is what you and I have been talking about when it comes to Milwaukee. This is the team. This is the team that we say that they can compete and they can actually come out of the East with that.
No, we have talked about it. We said Milwaukee was going to, in the end, as we watched it, Milwaukee was going to be in the finals. And they are, and they stepped up and played a great game. Again, great game 2. They didn't play a bad game. They played a good game. It was just Phoenix's night. Game 1, you had a very, very tired Milwaukee team that came off of a tough series, and Phoenix really wasn't tired. I'll give that one to Phoenix, but I think, and I don't know if it's going to be 4.5 points. I think Milwaukee gets the game tonight. What do you think?
I think the Suns are going to adjust. For some reason, I don't understand with NBA teams, especially in playoff situation, finals, it takes them an entire game to adjust. They're going to come back and adjust today or tonight's game and be much better at it. And one of the things that you've mentioned is Phoenix have lost game 3s in all of their series.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? They've lost 3 times in game 3 and gone on and win the next, gone on and win the series. They just took care of the Lakers after they won game 3. The Clippers got another game that made it 6 games, but right now Milwaukee gets this game. So is Phoenix that good? That's the thing you got to think about. We look for all the reasons why we want to have a good series, and that's the thing we do. Sometimes we reach because we want to see a 7-game series. We want to continue.
Absolutely, we're selfish as fans.
Because NBA is a lot of fun, and I'm going to miss it. Again, it's my favorite of all the sports. I just love watching it. But, you start asking yourself, am I grasping at straws? Is Phoenix really that much better than everybody else? Is Phoenix just going to take it tonight and go on and win this series at home? Or is Milwaukee going to continue what they did in game 3 and take this game? What's going to happen tonight?
Sometimes it's just a hot team. Phoenix, throughout this playoff run, has been the hot team.
Unbelievable.
So it should be their time. Would I be surprised if Milwaukee takes it off? No.
Not at all.
Because Milwaukee has a great team themselves.
Yeah, and it's funny because we go back, we talked about a couple things when the playoffs started. One, we talked about injuries would dictate these playoffs. Well, it's great right now that both teams are close to full strength. Both teams have a couple guys out. So DiVincenzo's out for Milwaukee, and Saric is out for Phoenix. Saric out really hurts them because it takes some of the physicality away from Phoenix. But is Phoenix that good because of the grueling schedule they've been through in the West? I mean, the West was just so good this year. And we talked about this. There were only 3 really good teams in the East, in the NBA, and everybody else was way behind them. Do you think that difference of the grueling, tough schedule in the West is going to be the difference why Phoenix is going to win this? They just have had to play tougher basketball, and they're going to have to get tough tonight, and they're going to go on and win this thing because the West is so dominant compared to the East.
No, it's not necessarily their schedule. It's the team that they have, the team that they're comprised of. I feel like they were a decent team before the addition of Chris Paul. Chris Paul basically made the team that much better. they're a good team and they should win.
They are a good team. In the end, it's funny. At this time of year, it really comes down to coaching. Coaching is so important, and people don't understand that adjustments is what I mean. Watch film, adjust. Both coaches are very capable. Budenholzer is a very good coach. Monty Williams is a very good coach. It's to me, in the end, it's going to come down to who's going to impose their will on the other, because I think both teams are very even at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee won 4 straight games. And I told somebody that, they looked at me like, that's not going to happen. I said, don't be surprised if Milwaukee wins 4 straight, because Milwaukee started to show some dominance to me in game 2, even though they couldn't overcome all those, those 3-pointers. And Milwaukee kept coming at them, and Phoenix kept hitting those threes. And in the end, they won that game. But game 2 was really the determining factor to me, how I looked at this series. And I realized I believe Milwaukee's the better team. Now, will they show that tonight? I don't know. But I'll tell you what impresses me, and you know this, you're a big basketball fan. Sometimes it's that one guy who takes the other players and says, let's go, and leads them to the championship. You've seen it many, many times. I believe at this point, Giannis's influence on his team as compared to Chris Paul, and definitely not Booker. Booker's not the leader. When things don't go good for him, he kind of pouts and you lose him. Chris Paul is a definite leader. Charles Barkley calls him the best leader in the NBA. Do you think Giannis is going to take that team on his back, or are you looking at that and saying, wow, Giannis is really stepping up and being the man, and he's going to lead that team to a championship, or you really feel in the end that Chris Paul and his band of brothers are going to do it?
I really think that Phoenix is going to win it all, but would it surprise me that, hey, in the next 3 games, Giannis takes the team on his back like he has been and just go ahead and dominate and do what he's doing? He may not get 41 points tonight, but he's definitely getting over 30 points tonight.
So determined. He says all the right things. What a leader. And I'm enjoying this because it's about leaders. And Chris Paul, really, like you said, he was a little bit non-present last game. He was sitting there at the end of the game, looked uninterested. I see Giannis's leadership skills right now today much stronger than Chris Paul's, and I think it's a big difference. And you know what impresses me about Giannis, and I know his fans and his fellow players, that guy wasn't shooting free throws well. A la Ben Simmons, they were not shooting free throws well. Giannis has gone out between games and practice. And how did he look the other night shooting free throws? I was so impressed and proud that a guy would say, oh, I'm not going to allow people to make fun of me. I'm not going to allow people to count out numbers. I'm going to take the pride. And he shot free throws so well the other night, and I said, that's leadership, because he's putting in the time to improve something that he's not good at. And gosh darn it, in the end, it doesn't become the money. It becomes the leadership, and you had to sense that and see it yourself.
But you see the difference between him and a player like a Ben Simmons that does not know how to shoot free throws. He puts the work in it because he's determined to be better. Ben Simmons, that's a whole nother story.
It's a whole mess because he turned the faucet off for his team. Everybody lost interest because Ben Simmons became the story. It wasn't Embiid. It wasn't the other players. It wasn't Harris. It ended up being the story that this kid wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. And come on, a guy of that talent, they're fouling him on purpose to slow the game down, to slow Philadelphia down. He was solely responsible for them losing and letting Atlanta take advantage of them. I'm sorry, that's what I mean. What a leader Giannis is. And I know you like Phoenix tonight. I like Milwaukee again tonight. I don't say they'll cover the spread. I think it's going to be a very close game. The problem is you know what? Kind of like Conor McGregor, Phoenix is coming out swinging in the first round, in the first quarter. They're coming out swinging. Now, is Milwaukee going to be able to handle that? Are they going to be able to handle that barrage early? That's the difference, because as you've seen, teams that really look good in the first quarter and play better in this particular playoff series is a team that usually wins. The team that plays the best in the first quarter usually wins. So there's something that's scaring me about Phoenix. I want Milwaukee because I want a series, and I think they're capable. But you're right. Phoenix is scary, man. They're a
Both
scary
teams
team.
are talented. Like
They're a scary team.
either team that wins, they're not just gonna win a championship because they were given it. They fought for it.
Oh, I give them credit.
They're very good, and I think whoever wins it, I'm hoping it's Phoenix because that's who I've been on all year long. But if not, then guess what? Milwaukee, well deserved.
Yeah, you got one thing you got to look at, and again, the West has been so strong. When you look at a Phoenix team to do what they did to Denver, you got to say that's a good basketball team. I mean, Denver was in disarray there a bit, but to get swept like that, I mean, that's crazy. So, I give a lot of props to Phoenix. They probably are going to win it. I want to see a good game tonight. I'm going to take Milwaukee in a close one. You're going to take Phoenix. So, whatever way you fans go, enjoy the game. It's great. I mean, the telecast is great. The announcers do a great job. The players are great. It's really fun to watch that intensity. So I hope you all enjoy it. And I hope your team wins tonight. God bless. I'm going to go with Milwaukee. I'll give the 4.5 points. Jack is going to go with Phoenix, as you heard him say. And good luck to you, Jack. And I know you've been on Phoenix all year. That's been your team. So thank you for not wavering on what you believe in, and you've believed all year, and you fans know that.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it in our shows. In closing, let's talk a little bit about WNBA. Who's the best team in the WNBA at the halfway point?
See, we can't just say the best team because you have a Seattle, you have the Aces, and then you have Connecticut. They're the top 3 teams, I feel.
You got to throw Minnesota in there. Minnesota's also a good. They're playing very well right now. Those 4 teams, I agree with you. All great teams. But which one do you like the best? Give me one.
I got to go Aces.
You got to go Aces. Aces will sit on top at the end of the year this year. Seattle won't win. Seattle won't go back-to-back.
I hope not because the Aces are here.
Of course, we love the Aces, and Asia Wilson is the best player in the league. I love that. I love that lady, and that young lady Gray. What a great player she is, point guard. What a facilitator. Yeah, man, the Aces got a lot of talent. Cam Bay's in the middle, but at the halfway point, I'm going to pick Connecticut. I'm going to go with Connecticut. I believe that young lady Bonner is the best player in the league myself. I don't know if you've seen her play for Connecticut. She's good, but it's fun. It's the halfway point. The All-Star Game's tonight. And, we're always going to be watching for the Aces to win it. And I think that's a great pick. But anything else you want to talk about with the WNBA All-Star team or NBA before we finish up today?
No, that's pretty much wraps it up. I'm just excited to still having basketball right now.
Yeah, great. Very well put. I'm excited about it. We got to, we're about it at the end here. This show has been a lot of fun. I mean, bantering back and forth about WNBA has just been classic. But we've had a lot of opinions. We always enjoy your opinions. We want to thank you, again, very much for watching these shows and telling your friends about them. We're thrilled that our numbers are growing. And please like the shows. Make some comments. We like when we get comments. And we always get individuals that comment about what we're doing great and what we might be doing better, and give us a hard time when we aren't right. But we want to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank you for being part of this NBA family here. And we say it's a family because it's been a lot of fun. And Jack, I want to thank you for all our great comments. Next week is our last show on NBA, and you've had some great input. And again, you've been with Phoenix all year, so thank you for your incredible knowledge to this point this year.
Thank you. As you as well.
It's been a pleasure, and I just hope that you'll be back from New York and don't cry on air when Phoenix loses. God bless. Goodbye all.
Trust me, I won't.
Thank you.